2, we copy it. 35 degrees. 35 degrees, 750, coming down to 23. 700 feet, 21 down, 33 degrees. 100 feet, down to 19.
The Soviet Union has announced the successful launch and return of a human into Earth orbit. The pilot, Yuri Gagarin, reportedly completed a full orbit aboard the spacecraft Vostok 1 and returned safely. There was no advance notice from Moscow, no build-up, just a sudden statement that has stunned officials here and abroad. This announcement challenges long-held assumptions in the West about leadership in science and technology. More details are expected as the story develops.
In government rooms lit by cold fluorescent lights, one reality settled in. Falling behind wasn't an option. If the Soviets could reach orbit, they could go further, higher, faster. And if they could reach the moon first, the message to the world would be unmistakable. So the United States made a decision that was part ambition, part desperation. They would not match the Soviets. They would outpace them. They would attempt something no nation had ever dared to plan on paper. A project so large, it pulled thousands of scientists, engineers, mathematicians, and pilots into a single goal, a human landing on the moon. Apollo 11 wasn't a simple journey from Earth to the moon. It was a chain of precise stages, each one demanding absolute perfection. It began with a launch, the Saturn V erupting with a force that shook the ground for miles. The rocket pushed the crew upward through violent acceleration and rising heat until it finally broke free of the atmosphere. Then came Earth orbit, a brief moment of calm that wasn't calm at all. Controllers scanned every system, verifying that the spacecraft was healthy enough to continue. Next was the decisive burn that hurled them out of Earth's grip and into open space. After that, the crew had no quick return. They were committed. Once in the void, the command module separated, rotated, and docked with the Lunar Module, tucked inside the third stage. A slow, silent maneuver in the darkness. Every second, a heartbeat. The long coast to the moon followed. 3 days of constant navigation checks and quiet focus as the ship drifted farther from home with every hour. Then the engine fired again to slow the spacecraft into lunar orbit. One moment of controlled power against the pull of a new world. 2 astronauts moved into the Lunar Module and began their descent, riding a machine built only for landing on the moon and lifting off once. Inch by inch, they dropped toward a surface no human had ever touched. After their work, they lifted off the moon and rose back into orbit, climbing on a small ascent engine straight back into the sky. The descent stage stayed behind, silent and empty. High above, the 2 spacecraft reunited, linking together so the crew could return home. One final burn aimed them toward Earth. The last trial was reentry. The command module hit the atmosphere at incredible speed, wrapped in fire as it fell toward the ocean. When the parachutes opened, the mission finally exhaled. 12 stages, 12 moments that demanded precision. And the truth behind all of it was simple, cold, and constant. One mistake at any point in that chain, and everything ended right there. No second chances, no way back. NASA didn't start by looking for dreamers. They started by narrowing the field to the most dangerous profession already on Earth. Military test pilots. Men who flew experimental aircraft that regularly killed those who made a single mistake. These pilots had thousands of hours in unstable machines, trained to stay calm while systems failed around them. From there, the filter became harsher. Flying skill alone wasn't enough. Every candidate needed a serious technical education. Engineering wasn't a bonus, it was mandatory. Apollo astronauts weren't passengers. They were expected to understand the spacecraft well enough to diagnose failures, reroute systems, and make life or death decisions without waiting for help from the ground. Then came the medical testing. It was infamous. Stress chambers, heat extremes, cold extremes, violent spin tests, long isolation experiments. Doctors tracked heart rhythms, blood chemistry, psychological responses under pressure. The goal wasn't strength, it was stability. Anyone who showed panic, hesitation, or emotional drift was removed. Even those who passed weren't trusted yet. Discipline mattered more than bravery. Apollo didn't reward ego. It didn't tolerate improvisation. Every procedure had to be followed exactly, even when instinct screamed otherwise. Inside a spacecraft packed with fuel, oxygen, and razor-thin margins, instinct at the wrong moment could kill everyone on board. Training inside the program became the final test. Endless simulations, emergency after emergency, systems failing on purpose, scenarios designed to overload the mind. Over time, patterns emerged. Not who was flashy, not who was bold, but who performed the same way every time. Calm, precise, almost mechanical. After all of that, the field was stripped down again and again, until only 3 men remained. Neil Armstrong stood out, not because he was loud or charismatic, but because he was unnervingly calm. He had survived aircraft failures that killed other pilots, and never panicked when everything went wrong. NASA trusted him with decisions that couldn't be rehearsed. Buzz Aldrin brought something different, a deep understanding of orbital mechanics, earned through advanced study at MIT. He didn't just operate spacecraft. He understood the math that governed how they moved through space. Michael Collins was chosen for the role no one envied. Alone in lunar orbit, completely isolated, responsible for bringing everyone home. Precise, disciplined, dependable to a fault. Exactly what NASA needed when there would be no margin for error. Apollo didn't select heroes. It selected the men least likely to break when everything around them did.
12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
413 is in.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.